So tell us a little bit how Bridges to Success started and how it has evolved.
Well, one of the main goals as the LCFF Task Force Coordinator was to pull the counselors of the Santa Maria Joint Union High School District together, and in articulation include our local community college, Hancock College, and drive the vision of helping all students in our community, and working with Hancock to bring down the barriers that sometimes that we see with our kids and giving them access to a community college for them to better themselves.
And so talk a little bit about the process. How did we get together? Talk about the journey a little bit.
Well, part of that journey was, I think, the vision that Hancock had, the vision that I had. How do we get our kids to higher education and the access? What were some of the barriers that we were seeing? So one of the things of our discussion were, what's the admission process look like? How do we get the kids through admission? What services need to be provided? So we did that. We did getting their accounts, getting them their start tests, going back to the school sites and providing that service. And through that service, we increased our percentage of enrollment by 36% here at Hancock College for Latino students, which was a big success. And I think, having the support of Dr. Walters allowed that to happen, and the support of the counseling department here at Hancock College, which was a great part to that. Without that support, it would not happen. That articulation, the meetings, what was the purpose of us meeting, giving our kids the access to better themselves. And we knew that we could do that if we have the same mindset as one team for our community.
So tell us a little bit about some of the we talked about kind of the day-to-day, how to admit students to Hancock, the matriculation process. So, we were able to provide that. But we also talked about issues of equity, what students are being disproportionately impacted. So talk a little bit about those conversations and maybe some feedback that you've gotten from your counselors about how they feel about those discussions.
Those were some tough discussions because sometimes we look through a lens that only involves our experience in our lives. And it took some hard conversations to really look at our students through the lens to see them as individuals and where they come from, what's their life like. And everybody has a different experience in life. And it was nothing to take against anybody, but it was to open ourselves up from the inside and really process on how to help our students. And that was a challenge for all of us. And we were so ingrained in a traditional setting for those kids to sink or swim, but it really began the process of giving access to all.
And talk a little bit about the book. We were actually using a model that has been introduced to the school district, the cultural proficiency
through
model.
Dr.
So talk a little bit about
Randall. We did a cultural proficiency book study. One of the authors was Dr. Randall Lindsay, who our district works with. Again, that was looking through that cultural proficiency lens. How do we see ourselves in that lens? And when we look at others, what is it we see? And there was an inside-out approach that really helped us move forward, and sometimes having those difficult decisions and discussions that we had to make to move forward to really give access and be equitable to all of our students. So that was a challenge. And the book study really pushed us to think outside the box, to have those discussions that provided us with that vision and that pathway where we wanted to go.
Do you think that this is a partnership that you would recommend? What would you think? What would you say are the strengths? If you were talking to a counterpart at another district, what are the strengths in the program?
One of the strengths I would say, I haven't seen that other community colleges do this. Part of as principal of Rigetti at one time, we have a CAP grant through the CSUs, and even looking at the different high schools throughout the state, there isn't much articulation with their community colleges. So what we have here is unique in the process that we're meeting on a regular basis, not just once or twice a year. Last year we met 7 times, and that was just huge, and it was tough, but it was a huge step forward, knowing that the support that we give from our district and the support that's given from our community college, really to build one team and have one focus, and that was all our kids for our community to have a better life. And there's no other way that I would think that would be better than providing a higher education for our kids.
So if Hancock wouldn't have been on your campus, what do you think would have been different?
I think not coming to school after high school, I would have probably been working or just gave up already or something. Just been working. So it provided me a lot of information, I should go to college since I'm the first one.
So Natalie, can you tell me a little bit about your experience starting here at Hancock? How did you find out about us?
Well, I came from Pioneer Valley High School, and my English teacher announced to the class that they were going to have priority registration for the START test at Pioneer for the first time. And it was a big deal because they've never done that before. And I knew I wanted to come to college, but never had the idea when. So I was okay, this is a perfect chance, I know I wouldn't just go because I wouldn't know when the date is or not. And then, so I signed up for it and I took it, and then, they helped us out. Our counselors or student teachers went to our school and actually helped us fill in our application for FAFSA and the Hancock to get your H number. But my experience was that if it wasn't for them to come to our school, I would have never signed up. I would have just procrastinated and be you know what, I'm gonna take a break, and whenever I feel I'm ready, I'm gonna start college. But I'm really proud that they actually went to our school and helped us out, because I wouldn't know where to start or how to start or where to go. So that really helped out, and so far it's been really good. I like it.
No, I had no idea what priority registration was. I only knew that to sign up I had to go to these workshops, and if I didn't sign up for priority registration, I thought I wasn't gonna get my classes. But it's just that priority registration is, if you sign up that day, then you'll get your classes before anybody else. So if you wait too long, then the classes might be filled up. And I didn't know that until I went to those workshops.
And so my mom's you either have one choice, you either work in the fields or you keep continuing school. But I mean, ever since I entered high school, I knew that I wanted to continue my education and, not work in the fields, not work at a food store or McDonald's. I mean, I've worked in the fields since I was a sophomore. Trust me, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But so far, it's actually pretty awesome. I really like it, and people here are so helpful. Right now, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to Mrs. Juanita, I'm talking to a lot of people that are helping me out along the way.
Yeah.
And just tell me what you liked about Juanita. What is it about the counselor that you were okay, I'm gonna listen to her. I'm gonna come to school because she's here. What is it about her, her qualities?
When she talked to you, she literally just focus on you. She'll ask you what are your interests, and she'll be oh, I like to do this and this, and then she'll be she told me she was a counselor, so okay, so I was paying attention towards her, and then she's oh, it's better if you do this and this. She will tell me the steps towards how I want to get, and she just focus on you. And I thought she was caring, that she is. She's a nice person, and I just think she's really helpful.
So you felt that she cared about you?
Yeah, I cared. I thought she's just wonderful. But yeah.
So tell me about Myra being at the high school. So how did that help you?
Well,
She helped a lot. She would organize a lot of like events to help us, like inform us about how to get registered to Hancock. She would go to the classes to make meetings, like presentations, and then she would also like announce like in the announcements and put up posters around the school campus about like, oh, come to the career center because I'm gonna be there all day. She would hand out her emails, also her email address to everybody, so we could just email her and ask her about any questions that we were concerned of.
And was that important for you?
I think it was. It really was. It was a lot of help actually, because I'm like, I don't know, like 89%. Like if she wouldn't have been there, I wouldn't have known what to do, and I wouldn't have taken my time and like come to Hancock and register on my own.
So if she wouldn't have been there, do you think that you may not have come to Hancock? Did you know that you were coming to Hancock?
I knew I was gonna come to Hancock, but I didn't know how to get started. So her being there and giving us so much information actually helped a lot, because she guided us step by step what to do.
But do you think it's important to have somebody there to help students?
Oh, of course. Thanks to you guys that you showed up to our school. If not, I don't think half of us would have came here.
Did you hear that from your friends, that if they wouldn't have gotten the information, they may not have come to Hancock?
Yeah, because you wouldn't even know how to get started. Like, what are you gonna do? You needed someone to be like, oh, this is what the requirements, or this is what you need to do so you can come here to Hancock.
Did you, did your parents graduate from college?
No, they didn't. So I wouldn't know like how to get started, you know? I would be the first one in my family to go to college. So, yeah.
And then kind of to end it, you know, let's kind of look down the road next year. What are some of the things, maybe big picture, let's talk a little bit about the big picture, you know, what are some of the things we would like to accomplish this year?
I think one of the things that we really want to accomplish is start getting into the development of a school plan. What does the school plan look like? You know, what are all the options that our kids have, that they're adequately prepared to enter into a pathway here at Allen Hancock College and to be successful. I think that's where we're headed, and to really focus in on that, start focusing in on those pathways to provide that support both at the district and at the community college level.